Hi everybody, and welcome to Jimmy Draws Art. I'm Jimmy Dragon. Let's talk about changes. I need to change, I think. This is a tough topic to talk about, it seems for me. I look at my channel, and I say that things need to change. I look at my art, and I say things need to change. I look at my lifestyle, and I say things need to change. Just overall, I feel my life needs to change. Before we dive deep into the subject, let's talk about my drawing I'm doing here. If you follow my channel, you might recognize this drawing I did a few videos back. Yes, this is Tao from the video game series Shining Force. This is the first version of her from the very first game that was on the old Sega Genesis back in the day. Anyway, I ended up liking that sketch a lot that I wanted to do it as a digital drawing. I don't usually do digital drawings as much, and it probably shows in this drawing. It takes me so much longer for me to do digital drawings than it would drawing on paper. Why? Maybe it has something to do with what I'm going to talk about in this video. For years, I have come to enjoy art. I pretty much like most kinds of art. If it has some kind of artistic element behind it, I find myself interested in it from one extent to another. Sometimes I would even give it a try if I have the ability to do so. But I have always mostly stuck to the same thing. I practice my art with no goal in mind. I just draw what I want to draw. Sometimes that isn't a bad thing, but one thing I have noticed, if I want to succeed in art, I have to specialize in something. Every popular artist that I follow, I notice the same thing. They specialize in something. Look at the art style of some of your favorite artists. Do you see the style that they are following? I notice it all the time. Every artist who has some kind of advice to other artists say the same thing. You have to define your niche. You can't go around saying you're an artist. There are all kinds of artists. What kind are you? Then you might say, well, I'm an anime artist. Well, what kind? There are all kinds of anime artists. You have to niche down. You almost have to say, I'm an anime artist who practices in the fantasy art style of Final Fantasy characters, or D&D characters, or whatever kind of characters. It's so crazy that you have to get that specific with your art. You have to place yourself inside of a box to get anywhere. We as artists, don't we try to think outside of the box? Aren't we trying to go outside of the norm and come up with the next big idea? And yet, when we do, we place ourselves back inside of that box that we were trying to think outside of. I find myself thinking that I need to change too. I find myself going through my art and I think, what can I do to get better? What can I do to get people to think I'm good at what I do? Well, I do look at my channel, and I think that I somehow got a little over 300 people to hit that subscribe button. That probably isn't an easy task, but I ask myself, what if I was more consistent with my uploads? What if I was focusing on my art, on one thing? What if I was specializing on something? What if I actually had a goal? Would I have grown even more over these past 5 years that I have been doing YouTube? The short answer is probably yes. I say probably because I am only going off what others say I should have been doing to grow the channel. There were times when I did upload videos, I thought that this might be the moment I needed to make the channel grow. Then I would try and then fall short of things and the channel would suffer again. Today I have been thinking, well, I've been thinking for a couple months now. I keep seeing these videos about AI. I see my friends use AI. I see other people use AI. I even see a person on YouTube give advice on how to sell a coloring book using AI to create the line art for you. With everything that is out there, what can you tell is real or AI? Maybe that is why I am grateful for YouTube and the fact that I can record my process, where you can see my hand doing the work, where I can upload it to YouTube so you can see the art created right before your eyes. You know, like what I'm doing here right now. But if you don't know about my YouTube channel, how can you tell if my art is real or it's AI? These days it's harder to tell. I find myself wanting to push that like button on other people's art, only to find out it was created with AI. That is why I find myself turning to more traditional artists these days. You can't really fake traditional art. Well, I guess you can. I guess we really can't win anymore these days. Well, regardless, I think I want to go back to using traditional means of doing my art. I have been sticking mostly to traditional art as of late with all my stuff that I've been doing. This drawing I'm working on right now is the one outlier among my work as of late. I just wanted to do this one like this. Will I swear off digital work? No, I won't, but I won't do it as much. Digital work will be done once in a while, depending on the project I do. Going forward, I want to do my art more traditionally. I think that will be one of my specialties, specifically using pen and ink with markers. That is my love. When I come back to doing drawing, I always gravitate towards my ink pens and markers. That is the one thing I really know how to use, and I use them well, I think. Well, I do need to work on my character poses, but that's for another video. I also want to get to the point where I can make money off my artwork, and I want to try and do that. I'm even thinking of selling my traditional artwork that I create here. I've been looking, and thankfully because of AI, traditional artwork has gotten a little more wanted. There seems to be a little more of a demand because people still want that human touch to art. I've been thinking of trying painting more because of this. I've dabbled in the past with painting. I did have fun doing it. It's something to try, but I have never tried because using a canvas, it is a bit intimidating. It is a bit larger than a sheet of paper, and it just seems more final looking. That is probably the best way I can put it. I would like to get over that feeling. Maybe I just need to mess up a canvas to get over that feeling. Oh, maybe one day. I think in the end here, all I can say is that I just feel more comfortable using traditional ways to make art. It's something I have grown accustomed to. For many years, I have done my art traditionally. When I look back at my old art, I just feel that this is where I'm supposed to be. My digital art is pretty good too, I would say. I have grown to love it. It does have its upsides to it. However, when I get in front of my drawing table and I have that piece of paper in my hand, I know I have something there. I can't really explain it, it's just a feeling I have. Placing that pencil to paper really feels great to me. I feel like I am in my element and I can just forget about the outside world for a few hours. Well, I hope that explains a few things. I basically want to practice more traditionally with my ink pens and markers. I have quite the marker collection these days, and I really need to get back into that love I have for them. I have a lot of love for art, and I really need to find that love once again. I will need to set some future goals. I need to strive for something. I need to make this work. I do have an idea for a comic to make. I keep drawing characters from that comic on this channel. I will have to try and bring that out and show all of you what I have done. I will admit, I fell victim to the world building trap that other artists have talked about. Search that on YouTube and you will see what I mean. I spent a long time building the world these characters are in. Over the years, I made the task way too daunting and challenging for me to take on. I got intimidated by the size of it all. It's supposed to be an epic comic that would span chapters upon chapters of story. It's something that my wife has offered to help me rewrite, to get it more manageable so I won't feel so overwhelmed. That is one project I want to work on. Another thing I want to do is start commissions, mainly doing traditional art commissions using the ink and markers I so love. I would mostly focus on my love for fantasy and targeting people who also love fantasy and would like to see maybe their own characters done in my style of art. Maybe for their own D&D characters, or whatever they may want. I would also maybe try some fan art if it was right. Of course, it would all be safe art, nothing dirty. We would keep it so that everything is mostly kid-friendly. As you know, my channel isn't made with kids in mind, but I would like to keep it like that in case some kids do come across my channel. I have a couple of nephews who ask me with tips on how to draw and are interested in what I do, so I try to keep things as clean as possible. Another thing I am interested in trying out is doing like animated comics on the channel. Not full out animation or anything, but comics with voiceovers. In the past I have given some of my characters voices in my younger years, and I would maybe like to practice those voices once again? Maybe? It's just a thought. Anyway, these are some of the things I have been thinking of changing too. I have also been thinking of changing the name of the channel here, from Jimmy Draws Art to Jimmy Dragon Studios. What do you think of the name change? I want something that will more represent the channel going forward. Maybe? Well, I want my Instagram and YouTube to match. And for some reason, I can't get Instagram to match my YouTube because of some technical glitch when I tried to sign up. I don't like my Instagram name as much, so I want to change the name to both something I actually like, and I like Jimmy Dragon Studios. Okay, this video is getting long enough, and I had a lot to discuss here. I think doing this video has placed me into a better headspace about my artwork. I would just like to know what you think about the changes I want to make. What are your thoughts on what I want to do? Please use the comments below to tell me what you think about the plans. With that said, I thank you so much for watching. I have this other video you might like to watch where I did an art collaboration with another artist friend. I am open to doing art collaborations too, so just ask.